Okay. So when we use the operators, that is two colon symbols continuously without a space, so that type of operator is called as scope resolution operator. So here it is there in the bracket I mentioned. So the functionality of this is, you just look at this definition. The scope resolution operator links a class name with the member name. So member name means either it can be data member or it can be member function, because whenever we write anything in the class, those are called as members of a class, either the data or a function. See, for example, in this class, see, this A is called as data, okay, or we can call it as data or data member, and this gateway is called as member function. So together, if you want to call members of a class, okay. Individually, if you want to call, A is the data member, gateway is the member function. So if you want to mention together, so A and gateway are the members of a class. So if you want to link data member or a member function with the class, then you have to use a scope resolution operator. Okay, if you want to link data member or a member function to the class, then you have to use the scope resolution operator. Or if you want to link both also, you can do it, either one or both. Okay. So the scope resolution operator links a class name with the member name. Member name means either it can be data member or member function, in order to tell the compiler to what class the data member or member function belongs. Okay. So when we write the functions in a class, I said in the previous class, there are many ways to write. See, for example, in this class only, if you consider, see, A is the data, okay, A is the data, gateway is the function. See, you just observe this, how I have written gateway, double gateway function, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, semicolon. So this is one way. So this particular line, these type of lines are called as prototype, function prototype or declaration, okay, where you cannot get complete function. So there will be no complete function, will not come to know working of that function. So it is called as function prototype. Another way is, you delete this semicolon. In the next line, you write opening brace, okay, then you write some code of that function, okay, then close it. This is another way of writing the function. That means here, if you write it this much, you should not call it as function prototype. Okay, so this is called as complete function. Okay, where you extend the function. You should not put semicolon here. So you should extend, put opening brace, closing brace. Inside that you write some code. Okay, that is called, this complete thing is called function definition. Okay. So if I write this much, so this is called as function definition. So in case of function definition, you will come to know working of the function. So what you are doing inside the function. Whereas in case of function prototype, you will not come to know the working of the function. For example, in the previous thing, we have done it, right? See, this is function prototype, where you will not come to know the working of the function. Write the return type, function name, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, put semicolon. So these are the two ways. Okay. Next, see, if you want to write the function definition, either you can write inside the class only, okay, just now I showed you, or outside the class you can write. So outside the class means, you just look here. See, you just look at this code, how I have written. Outside the class I have written. When you want to write outside the class, what you have to do is, you should follow this syntax. Syntax means rule. It is applied for any function. If you write any function or for any class, it is applied. That is, first you have to mention the return type, class name, scope resolution operator, function name, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Afterwards, you should not put semicolon. You extend that function. Writing of the function, you extend. Put opening brace, closing brace. Okay. Then inside the function, you write some code. Then close the brace. That means outside the class, you are writing complete function. See, in the previously I have showed inside the class how to write it. Okay. Now this is outside the class. So when you are writing outside the class, you have to follow this rule. That is, write the return type, for class name, scope resolution operator, function name, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, opening brace. Inside that you have to write the code, then closing brace. Okay. See, you look at the prototype, then you will come to know how to write this. Because in prototype, already return type is present, function name is present, opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis is present. Extra thing what we are adding is class name scope resolution operator. This is the extra thing we are adding. And you should come to know in which class you are writing this prototype, because if you observe, getWage function have written inside the class employee, and getData function have written inside the class student. Okay, so getWage is present inside the class employee, getData is present inside the class student. And while writing outside the class also, you have to follow the same thing. Okay, when you are writing getWage function, getWage complete function, write that particular class name where you have written, that is in the class employee have written. And when you are writing getData function, write class name student, because you see getData is present inside the class student. So for getData, you should mention class name student. For getWage, you should mention class name employee. Okay, and after writing class name scope resolution operator function name, you can write complete function. Okay, for getData also you can write complete function. So for example, in this getData, I have not written any code, just you can write like cout student details. Some message you can write. One more thing, say if you don't write this line also, it is correct. You will not get any error. Just if you write opening brace and closing brace, that is enough. That is treated as one complete function. So this is the use of scope resolution operator. So scope resolution operator is used to link function name or a data member with the class name. So scope resolution operator is used to link function name or a data member with the class name. So how we are linking in this way, that is write class name scope resolution operator. Okay, class name and scope resolution operator. Remaining thing will be present in prototype. You just observe here. In this thing only it is present everything. That is data type, function name, opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, everything is present. In between you have to add class name and scope resolution operator. In that way we are linking. Okay. So this is about scope resolution operator. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So before I go to the next topic, once again I will explain in brief. Okay. The operator, that is two colon symbols, is called as scope resolution operator. Okay, it is used to link class name and member functions or data member. So how we have to do is, when you want to link member function, what you have to do, you should write function like this. You should not write complete function. You should write only prototype. So prototype includes a return type of a function name, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, semicolon. This much it is included. If parameters are present, you should add. For example, if there is one parameter here, then you should add. If no parameters are there, leave as it is. Put parenthesis and opening and closing parenthesis, write semicolon. So this is called as function prototype. So when you write the function prototype, the actual working of the function you have to write outside the class. Okay, so when you are writing outside the class, what you have to do, you have to link this function to that particular class. See in which class you have done, you should see in this prototype in which class it is present, that you have to see. So in class employee it is present, so you have to write class name scope resolution operator, then function name. Similarly, get data, so get data function is present in class student. Okay, so only you have to write get data, that is class name student scope resolution operator, get data. After writing it, you can write complete code. You can write any number of lines inside this function. That is nothing but the working of the function. Okay. Okay, you just look at this thing. So wait for some seconds. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So now we will move to the next topic, constructors. Okay. Okay. See, before I tell about constructor, the things what we have learned in class, that means while writing the class, what things we have learned is, first thing, writing the class keyword, then writing the class name. Okay, opening brace, this is called as brace, floor bracket is called as brace, then data. Okay. If at all, if you want to write private access specifier, you can write. After writing private access, you can write the data. Or if you don't write private also, by default, first time, only for the first time it is taken as private. Okay, next. After that, if you want to mention public access specifier, you can do it. Then in public access specifier, if I want to write function, just like void, sorry, just I will write member function here. Okay, then you can write any number of member functions, any number of data, then you close it. So this is how we are writing the class. Okay, now if suppose if I'm writing example like class a, okay, then in the class if I write variable a, okay, then we will write public access specifier. So for this I'll write one function, say display. Okay. Okay, so this is the function I have written. Okay, let me take it as class name as ABC. Okay, now if suppose if I write one more function, okay, let me write one more function. See here, if I give the function name as ABC, okay, this is also correct because function names are identifiers. So whenever I tell identifiers, remember the identifier rules. Okay, class name is an identifier, function name is also an identifier, variable names are identifier, object names are identifier. So wherever identifiers concept comes, remember the identifier rules. Blank space is not allowed, starting character should not be digit, underscore symbol is used, but it is not compulsory, other symbol should not be used, blank spaces are not allowed. These rules you have to remember. Now according to the identifier rules, this is correct. Now you just check the function name display and function name ABC. Okay. In case of function name display, what I have done, you see. So I have written the data type void, okay, and then function name, okay. And this function name display, it is not same as class name. So class name is ABC, function name is display. It is not same. Whereas in this case, what happens? Class name is ABC. Sorry, function name is ABC. Class name is also ABC. Okay, class name is ABC. Function name is also ABC. Actually, in case of C programming or C++ programs without using class found objects, if there are two identifiers with the same name, then we may get error. Two identifiers. See, here ABC is also an identifier. Class name it is. Here ABC, it is an identifier. It is a function name. Two identifiers, but different concept. That means this ABC refers to class. This ABC refers to function name. So this is the class name. This is the function name. Actually, it should get error. But here it will not get error because this is the concept of constructor. Constructor means it is a function where function name and class name should match. If the function name and class name matches, then it is called as constructor. So here ABC is a function, class name is also ABC. So class name and function name both are matching. So these type of functions are called as constructor. Okay, this type of functions are called as constructors. Okay. Now, so why we are using constructor, that we should see. Okay, why we have to use constructor? The name itself tells construct. Construct means to create. Okay, so whenever we use in English, generally, when I say construct means to, for example, if we say construction of building, that means creation of building. Similarly, here also constructor meaning construct, to construct. What to construct? To construct an object. Okay, to create an object. So if I write like main function, for example, void main, okay, then in the main function, if I write ABC A, okay, so I have created the object called as A. See, ABC is the class name, A is the object name. See, when you write the programs, all the terms you should know at which line, by what term you have to call, you should know. See here, ABC is the class name, display is the function name, ABC is the class name, and it is also called as constructor name. And here small letter a is an object name, like that you should know. Okay, everywhere. And public is the access specifier, it is a keyword. So a is the, here a is the normal variable, like that you should know everything, every term you should know. Okay. So when I tell ABC, small letter a, here object a is created. Okay, object A is created. See, when object is created, what happens? When object is created, memory for the data in the class is given. Okay. See, if I don't write this line, that is ABCA, or if I don't write main function like this, okay, if I delete, at this line, memory will not be allocated. Memory will not be allocated means what? If you write int a also, you cannot write the value here. That is a is equals to 10. You cannot write like this. Okay? Because in a C++ or C programming language, whenever memory is allocated for variables, then only you can store values. If memory is not allocated, you cannot store values. See, the same statement, for example, the same statement, if I write in the main function, say, if you consider like this, int a is equals to 10. Same statement have written. Okay, there is no difference. Here it is correct. In the main function, if you write int a is equals to 10 is correct because you are storing value 10 in the variable a. But in the class, if you write a is equals to 10, it is wrong. Okay, at this line we'll get error. We should know why like that. See, what is the difference here in the lines int a equals to 10? Both are same, right? Then both should work. But in the main function it will work. In the class it will not work because this a is called as instance variable, data member. See, whenever we are writing variables inside the class, memory will not be allocated. Memory means space. If computer gives a space for us, then only you can store value. If there is no space, then you cannot store value. If there is no space in the computer memory, you cannot store value. So at this particular line, space is not given for a variable a. Just it is variable is created, but space is not given. So only you cannot store value. Then when we can store the value? When computer gives space for this. When computer gives memory space for variable a, then you can store the value. So when computer will give memory space for this, when object is created, see how it is linked. See, step by step I am telling. At this particular line, computer or the compiler will not give memory space for variable a. So you cannot store the value. So when we can store the value? When computer gives memory space for variable a. So when it will give the memory space? When object is created. So how to create an object? You have to go to the main function, okay, write class name, then this is an object. Understood? So this is an object. So when object is created, memory is allocated for variable a. Then you can store the value. So that too, you can store the value not in this line. You cannot store in this line. So once we will get the memory, either in the display function or in the constructor, you can store the value. Okay. But if you want to store the value for variable a, compulsory this statement should be executed first. Then only you can store the value. Understood? If this statement is executed, if this statement is executed, object a is created. When object a is created, we are getting memory for variable a. Okay, when we are getting memory for variable a, then you can tell a is equals to 10 either in the display function or in the constructor. But at this line, you cannot store the value. Okay, this point to remember because in interview they may ask this question. What are instance variables? So instance variables are the variables which are declared inside the class and memory will not be allocated for instance variable until the object is created. You have to tell this point. Until the object is created, memory will not be allocated. So if you try to give the value at this point, you will get the error. That point you have to tell. Then next question, when object is created? Sorry, when we can give the value for instance variable? When object is created. So where we are creating the object? Either you can create here. This is called global object. Or else in the main function you can create the object. This is called local object. Either the global object or the local object you can create. Now, I have considered the concept of local object. So I have created the object. So when object is created, memory will be given for variable a. When memory is given for variable a, you can store the value for variable a, either in the display function or in the constructor. Okay. Now, if you store the value in the constructor, that is called as constructing an object. Remember, when you store the value in the constructor, that is called as constructing an object. So the constructor definition says, you just look at the documentation here. See, we will see the definition of constructor, what they do. A constructor is a member function. See, first point is it is a member function. I hope you know what is member function now. Construct member function means which are functions which are present inside the class, either inside the class or outside the class, but that function should belong to the class. If the function belongs to class, then it is called as member function. Okay, constructor is a member function whose name is same as the class name. Okay, this point is very important. Whose name is same as the class name. Its task is to initialize the objects of its class. The constructor is called whenever the object is created. It is called constructor because it constructs the values of data members of the class. See, when we create the constructor, what happens? First thing is it will give the values for the data members. So just now I said in this program, so I have written a is equals to 10. I have given the value for variable a, that is the data member a. So why did I give the value for a? Because I have created the object. So when object is created, this function will call automatically. When this line is executed, this part of code is also executed automatically. Remember, when this particular line is executed, this part of code is also executed. When this part of code is executed, a is equals to 10 value is given. Okay, so only now step by step I will tell you. See, when object is created, memory will be allocated for data members. When memory is allocated for data members, simultaneously constructor will be called. When constructor is called, whatever the values you are giving for data members, that values are assigned for the data members. So the definition says, okay, constructor is a member function whose name is same as class name. Its task is to initialize the objects of a class. The constructor is called. See, whenever we use the functions concept, you have to tell this word, invoked or called. That means making that function to work. Invoke or call. These words indicate making that function to work. So when constructor will work, whenever the object is created. When object is created, constructor starts working. Just like normal functions. Okay. Then what is the task of constructor? It constructs the values for data members of a class. So just now written a is equals to 10. Okay. So constructor is a member function whose name is same as class name. Its task is to give the values for the data members of a class. Now here is one example. We will see what is that example. Okay. Okay, just look at this example. Class name is employee, function name is employee. So these two are matching. See, class name is employee, function name is employee. So employee is called as constructor. Here you call it as employee class name. At this line you call it as employee as constructor. Okay, so don't get confusion here. So at this point call it as class name. Here you call it as constructor. Okay. In the constructor, what we are doing, m is equals to 0, n is equals to 0. I said that if you want to give the values for variables which are present inside the class, directly you cannot give at this line. Okay. If I say m is equal to 0 and n is equals to 0, this is wrong. And in interview, if they ask a question like this, if we give the values at this point, why it is wrong? Because memory will not be allocated. This point you have to say, memory will not be allocated at this particular line. When object is created, memory will be allocated. So only we can give the values in the constructor. You may get a little bit doubt here. What is the difference between giving value here and here? The difference is at this point, memory will not be allocated. At this point, memory will be allocated because this function will call when object is created. When object is created, memory will be allocated. Understood? This function is called when object is created. When object is created, memory will be allocated. When memory is allocated, you can give the values. It's very simple. Once again, I will tell you. Just understand this point. When object is called, this function starts working. When this function, when object is created, memory will be allocated. Simultaneously, this function starts working. So when memory is allocated, you can give the values. But at this line, object will not be created, right? So memory will not be allocated. If memory is not allocated, you cannot give the value. Understood? So we will see explanation here. So what explanation they have given here? Okay. Okay. See, When a class contains a constructor, an object created by its class will be initialized automatically. So this point is very important. See, in interview they may ask question, what is the purpose of constructor? Constructor is used to initialize the object. You have to say like that. When object is created, constructor will be called automatically. See here in this example, employee is the class name, EMP is the object name. Okay, employee is the class name, EMP is the object name. So EMP object is created. So now you see this explanation. Above line not only creates an object EMP of type employee, but also initializes data members M and N to 0. There is no need to write any statement to invoke the constructor. Okay, constructor function just like member function. See, generally what we do, whenever we consider the functions, we will call the function. That means function call statement like this. Employee. Like this we have to call function actually. Okay, but for constructor no need to write this line. Okay, call function call statement no need to write, because at this line only function will be called. When this line is executed, this function starts working. Okay, got it? When this line is executed, this function starts working. So only they're telling there is no need to write any statement to invoke. Invoke means to make the constructor to work. Invoke is nothing but making something to work. To make constructor work, there is no need to write any statement, as we do with member functions. Automatically constructor starts working when these type of lines are executed. Okay. Okay. You can go through till here. If you come across any doubt, you can ask. So now we will see what things they are explaining. Okay. Constructor that accepts no parameters is called as default constructor, because whenever we tell member function or normal function, we can give the parameters or we can write the function without parameters. It is our wish. So however we feel comfortable, or depending on the requirement. See, for example, if I'm writing say any function like int sum, okay, if this is the function, so you can write just a minute. So you can write the function like this. See, inside this I have not given anything. So like this also you can write. Okay, that is without writing the parameter. Without writing the parameter, you can write. Or otherwise, even I can write like this: int sum, int a, int b. Like this also I can write. So this is with parameters. So first function is without parameters. This is with parameters. So this, whatever you write within opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, that is called as argument list. So argument list can be empty, or you can write one or more arguments. Same thing it is applied for constructor. For example, if I write class A, see, we can use single letter for class names, capital letter A to Z and small letter A to Z. You can use whatever you want. Okay. Then coming to the inside the class, if I write say public access, if I inside this, if I write A function name, so you just observe the difference here. A is the class name, here A is the function name, because in front of A I have put opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. See, always for functions we use opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. For class name we will not use. Directly we can write like this: class name without any symbol, just class name. So this is function name it is. Okay. Now I can write like this. Okay. See. Okay. Now if you're writing like this, if you don't write anything here, if you don't write anything without any parameters, just like first function I've written sum, right? If you don't write like anything, these type of constructors are called as default constructor. Okay, default constructor. These type of constructors are called as default constructor. And if suppose if you write one more constructor, so you can write like that, more than one constructor also you can write in the function. Okay, int b. If you write like this, okay. Second constructor is called as parameterized constructor, because I have written two parameters. Parameterized constructor. You just observe the difference here. First constructor has got no parameters, empty opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. Second constructor I have written two variables a and b, so it is called as parameterized constructor. If you write one parameter also, it is called parameterized constructor. So now we have come across two types of constructor. One is default constructor, another one is parameterized constructor. Okay. You just observe here. The default constructor for class A is A. The meaning of this is, see, here first time what I have used capital letter A, it is class name. Second time what I have used, this complete thing is constructor, or A with opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. Okay. So first time what I have used, it is called as class name. Second time what I have used capital letter A with opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, it is called as constructor, because class name and constructor name should be same. So if no such constructor is defined, then a compiler supplies a default constructor. That means if we are not writing any constructor, internally compiler will give one constructor. Before program is executed, it will give default constructor. While program is executed, it will give default constructor. Therefore, statements such as capital letter A, small letter a. See, you just observe here, capital letter A is a class name, small letter a is an object name. Understood? Capital letter A is a class name, small letter a is an object name. Class name, object name. Invokes a default constructor of a compiler to create the object A. So in this entire paragraph, so I will tell you the terms where and all I have written. First capital letter A, class name. Second time what I have written, it is the function name, that is called as constructor name. Then in this line, capital letter A is class name, small letter a is object name. So when object is created, constructor is created. Sorry, constructor starts working. Okay. Now we have some rules for constructors, so that we will see characteristics of constructor. Because when we write the constructor, what rules we have to follow, or what are the properties of constructor. Okay. See, first one, constructor should be declared in public section. Okay, we have three sections in class: private section, public section, and protected section. So constructors will come in public section. Okay, next, constructors are invoked automatically when objects are created. Invoked means starts working. Constructor starts working when objects are created. We don't need to write one particular statement to call the constructor. That is to make the constructor to work. When object is created, constructor starts working. Constructors do not have return type. See, generally when we write functions, we can write the return type like int, float, CHR, character, double, void, boolean. 6 data types are the basic types: int, float, char, double, void, boolean. In case of constructor, you don't need to write any return type. You don't need to write any int or float or character, double, void, boolean. You don't need to write. Directly write function without writing any return type. Then, if you don't write any return type, it will not return any value. Understood? It's very simple. If return type is there, it will return value. If return type is not there, it will not return any return value. Okay. If you write int, it should return integer value. If you write float, it should return floating point value. But for constructor, you are not writing any data type, so it will not return any value. Constructors can have default arguments like other C++ functions. Okay. So this point I will tell you later when we come across in the program. Next, parameterized constructor. See, till now we have discussed about default constructors. See, the rules, what they have given here in the above section, it is applied for parameterized constructor also. Okay. Now, it is possible to pass arguments to constructors. To create a parameterized constructor, add parameters to the constructor. Okay. Here we will see in this program, we will see. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so just look at this program. See, in this program, what we have done is, so we have taken class called my class. Okay, so class called my class. In my class, so what I have done, one more function is there by name my class. So class name, function name, both are matching. So this is called as constructor. And one more function is there. The function name is show. This is not a constructor because it is not matching with the class name. So in the show function, what I have done, just have written a, b to display the values. Okay. Next, coming to the main function. So in the main function, what I have done, my class, that is the class name, ob, that is the object name, For object, what I have done, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, brackets have written. In the brackets, have written 3, 5. Okay. The meaning of that is, see, whenever we are writing parameterized constructor, we have to send the values for the parameterized constructor. Remember, when we write the parameterized constructor, we have to send the values. So, in which line we have to send the values? Where you create the object, from that line you have to send the values. See, in the main function, I have created the object OB. From this line only you send the values. See, 3, 5. 3 is an integer, 5 is an integer.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಸಿಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್
ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್. So for object creation, it is class name, object name. This is one syntax. Okay. Another syntax is class name ob1, ob2, obn. That is n number of objects.